If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Good morning, everyone. This is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share some clay mints that I actually wanted to get some, but I didn't want to wait a month to get them in. So I looked on YouTube, and we can learn everything on YouTube. So I'm going to link the channels or the two videos that I watched that helped me to create these mints that I'm going to share with you. There are some things that they don't tell you. I wish they would be a little bit more specific. When a video has nothing but music, it's kind of hard, to really get all the details. So one of the things I learned by watching the video, by making the mistakes, and something that they don't tell you in the video, when you're doing your peppermint slices, you have to slice it while your clay is still hot. It is warm to the touch, but you're not going to get burned. But as soon as you get it out of the oven, because you do have to bake it at, I think I baked mine for 12 minutes, and the temperature in the oven was 275. And for every about quarter-inch thickness of your clay, it's 12 minutes. So might be a little under a quarter of an inch, so I just kind of dropped it down to like 10 minutes. But that's how that works. And like I said, make sure when you go to slice it, and I'm going to show you why. This pile over here that you see right here, I use the same size tube, and when I say tube, and I mean clay tube like this, that I did on this one on this side. The difference is that on this one, I had baked two at the same time, same length, so they were about as long as the board. And what happened is that by the time I got done cutting the first one and I started on the second one, it had cooled down, because it cooled down really fast. So I recommend that you only bake one at a time, because you want to be able to, if you have to cut it, to do it while it's still warm. So anyway, after I had done this first one, when I went to cut the second one, it was just too cool. And what happens is that it crumbles. So you see all these little pieces right here, these crumbs are because the clay was dry. And I'm going to show you, I left this piece like this so I could show you that every time I go to cut it, see how it doesn't cut the circle? It crumbles. It just breaks in pieces. So that is what happens. You'll get one or two pieces that are okay, but most of the time they just break apart. So make sure you do it while you do slice it up while it's hot. And like I said, all these, I didn't have to throw any of it away like I do here. I have the pile that I have to throw away because it's nothing but crumbs. And this one here, I was able to cut the whole thing and not get any, hardly any crumbs, any ones that were breaking. You do have to cut like a certain amount off the tips, because the colors, when you go to roll it out, it kind of doesn't do right until you get to a certain area, and you'll be able to see when you start rolling it, the pink kind of or the white tries to take over at the ends. But when you get to the middle, your colors are pretty much separated. And that's what you want, your colors to be separated, and you don't want them to be twisted. So that's one thing I learned. And what I mean by twisted is when you're rolling it like this, you don't want your lines to start twisting. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but the straighter they are, the better you're going to get results when you cut it. So see how good this one looks? Because believe me, I made that mistake too. But you are on the tips you're going to find these pieces, see where you can't really define the colors that well. But on the other ones, you can, where you get, when you cut off that bad part, you'll get to that good part. And I only, it's only a few pieces, nothing crazy. But that's what I did. So this was the first batch that I did, and they are thicker, and I was able to cut some of them and get slices, but it wasn't that great. That was my first attempt. My second attempt, I made some green ones, and I'll share with you what those look like. And those came out really, really nice. So here is the second attempt, and look at how nice those look. So those came out really, really nice. I was careful to try and keep my lines as straight as possible, and I cut it while it was warm, and I was able to cut the whole roll without really discarding anything. Then I went ahead and made more, so that's what they look like. So there are my green ones, and I'll share with you the colors and the clay and all that in a minute. And like I said, my first one, you can tell that it wasn't that great. Also, my slices, I was cutting them thicker because they were crumbling because it was already cold. And I was able to salvage some of them. Like, I would still use these, but I like this batch better than I like this one. So that was my second one. And then I decided to make some mints, some peppermints that were a little bit bigger. So I made these. And these, I did use glossy accents on one of the sides because I wanted it to have a shiny side. So if you glue it down to something, you're going to have a matte side and you're going to have a glossy side. Also, the clay that I used here, I hope you can see it. It's a pearl clay. And I didn't even pay attention when I bought it, you guys. I just bought it. But when I worked with it, I saw that it was a pearl pink. And I really like that. So anyway, these are the ones that I made. Again, these are only about 1/4 of an inch thick. So I only had to bake them for 12 minutes as well in a 275 temperature oven. And then I took it a step further. I made candy canes. Look at how nice these turned out. Really, really nice. These are great for shakers. So I'm going to kind of mix these up with the green ones. So I'll have candy canes and the little peppermints. But I love the way these came out. Let me share with you what I used to make these. So what I used, and you are going to need, like, when I was rolling my the tubes, I mostly did it with my hands, but you don't get, it's not real consistent. But when you use a glass block or an acrylic block and use it to roll on your clay, then you get more even. The tube is the same thickness. So that will help you. But I think they recommend that you use glass, and also that you use a glass to roll your clay on as well. So that's one of the things. The clay that I used, I picked it up from Hobby Lobby. And the pink one right here, and they're $2.49. And I was going to get some on Amazon, guys, but they were like, most of them are $5 and up on Amazon. So I don't even know what color this is because I really can't see it. I kind of just like the light pink color and picked that one up. But this is the kind that you do have to bake, and this is the Sculpey 3. My understanding is that it's softer. So that's the one I used. You can maybe see how it's pearlized. It's so pretty. So that's one of the ones that I used. And then the other one that I picked up was this Sculpey, I don't know what this one's called. This is a Sculpey 3 as well. And this is just a plain white. So that's a plain white. And then the other one that I used was stuck. This green, it's almost like a mint green. I don't know what it's called. But this is a Fimo effect. And it's a green one that I use. So there's the color. And I love the way that it's marked off like this, because you can just cut off sections and equal on, you know, whatever colors you're using. But these are the ones that I used, and you can mix them up and stuff like that. I think that is all for now, guys. I think I've given you all the information. Oh, and you do need, those were $2.49 a piece. I haven't made my red and white ones yet. I still have to make my red and white ones. You also are going to need this blade. Um, and I did pick this up at Hobby Lobby, and that's to cut, to slice. But you have to be careful because there is like a razor sharp edge. And if you have the razor blades that are one-sided, not the double-sided razor blades, those will work very well for slicing as well. But that's what I've been doing. That's what I did last night after I got back from Hobby Lobby. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you, and I am going to link the videos in the description box. Bye.